Can you see the steam rising out of the stormtrooper's head, or the back of his head? Here, let me go ahead and turn the stormtrooper around. Can you see the steam now? It's there. Let me see if I can fog up the lens. Is it working? Are you fogging up? Is it hot and steamy in here? Or is it just me? Or is it just the tea in my stormtrooper head mug? I don't know. No matter what the answer happens to be, hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned in to another live edition of the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, something that we do every weekday. Every weekday. In the other YouTube channel, youtube.com/LockerGnome, and I thought maybe, after hearing the idea from Liz, that we'd change it up a bit. Maybe do a TLDR on the weekends here in this channel. And normally the videos I publish in this channel are usually about like one topic or another, a specific topic. TLDR happens to be whatever you want it to be about, including asking questions like, Chris, is that chat dim or is it just me? Is that a little better? There's like a fine line between too bright and too dim. And being my own producer, I kind of got to make do with what I got. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for tuning in live. This is the Discord chat. You are more than welcome to join it. It's very easy to do. Either become a sub of mine on Twitch, subs.twitch.tv/Chris Pirillo. Links in the video description. You can sub to me for free if you have Amazon Prime connected to the account. But if you do, then you have to manually renew to get access, continued access to the Discord chat room. Another way to join Discord chat is to become a patron. Patreon.com/Chris Pirillo is still kicking. If you become a patron or a sub, you get access to this. Not my computer here. This is just physically for me. I can't send you computers. It just doesn't work that way. I'm talking about the virtual chat room. It's very easy to do. Another way to support me, if you are so inclined, is to super chat. And we have 2 super chats today. To start things off, we have Chirag Bagtar. Hang on, let me take a sip of my tea and try the name again. I apologize. That was totally my fault. Chirag Badkar gets the credit for being the first super chatter. He says, PSA, join the Discord chat for hours of fun. Indeed. And David Stevens, an iPhone 10 owner, might I add. It's a prestigious title. Not everybody has one. For instance, I don't have one. I know you're tired of me talking about the iPhone 10. That's the weird thing. Like, half the people out there are tired of hearing me talk about the iPhone 10, and the other half want me to keep talking about it. And I'm, like, caught in the middle. Like, just let me be me, okay? Okay. David Stevens comes in with a super chat and says, you didn't forget about me, did you, Chris? No. I get to know these people, you people, everybody. The more we get to know each other, I get to know you for the kind of phone that you use. That's how intimate a relationship we have. Like, I tend to know these things. I know, watch me be completely mistaken. Not my fault. If you missed yesterday's TLDR in the other YouTube channel, youtube.com/LockerGnome, you missed the drama. You totally missed drama. Like, if you thought this was the only place I published video, nay. The drama was about this box of 6-inch scale action figures, including the Shadow Guard from Legends here. That was big-time drama as Chris opened up the action figures. No, actually, the drama was in relation to this. I almost said Nexus, but I'm not going to say it. The Pixel 2 XL. You've got to watch the video. I don't want to dive too deeply into it. Suffice it to say, I found a screen problem that isn't being talked about yet. In fact, my prediction is in a couple of days, like possibly Monday, you're going to see the story break. And people are going to talk about the screen issue that I found, that is specifically the coating on the Pixel 2 XL rubbing away with very light use over the past 2 weeks. I talked about the situation in TLDR yesterday. I'm not going to belabor the point now. Suffice it to say, I'm a little upset about it. Just a bit upset. But I've been told that they're looking into it, and we'll see what happens. I'm probably going to be returning this, exchanging it, really, because I don't see another viable Android software experience in conjunction with the camera, in conjunction with, what else do I like in this device? Well, the software, really. That's what drives me to the Pixel 2 XL, despite the massive hardware shortcomings. Shortcomings. That's a good word to use. They are They are shortcomings, for sure. Brick Princess comes in with an X Super Chat saying hello, Pirillo family. Hello, Brick Princess, my fellow AFOL, adult fan of Lego. I don't know if you tuned into the live stream we did tonight on Geek Family Fun, the other YouTube channel, geekfamilyfun.com, in case you were wanting bonus videos a la vlog, the classic vlog. We nut cracked. Diana was cracking nuts and taking names. She was doing a fairly good job, too. Used one of those, like, corn mashers, those classic, in the stone, bowl corn masher thingies. Not for corn. She wasn't making flour, but she cracked nuts that way. And it was very efficient. I was really surprised. David Stevens comes in with an X Super Chat. He says, I'm already having burn-in on my XL2. 1 week in. Yeah, I had burn-in as well. I don't think there's a way around that. LG just does not make a good screen right now, specifically a small screen. Their OLED TV that I have in the other room is working just fine. Unfortunately, they did not cram the same quality into a Pixel 2 XL screen. Or an LG V30 screen, for that matter. I photographed the burn-in because that's apparently the only way that Google pays attention to a hardware issue. I'm making my case. It's not that I'm the only person who's experiencing this at all, or either. And so, I know a lot of people are having issues. But, I go back to kind of what I mentioned in TLDR yesterday, and apparently I'm not the only one with this feeling. A couple of writers on The Verge pretty much echoed my sentiments. Everything kind of is not great right now. That's how I feel about a lot of what we have with consumer electronics choices, these gadget choices this year. I'm just not completely blown away by any one of them. So it's not like I, am saying this is better than this and this is better and the most amazing thing ever. No, we're kind of in a period of time where we've just got a lot of problems, and every particular thing that we have the option to choose this year has a set of problems. This was not a banner year for consumer electronic technology choices, for one reason or another. What I think is a shortcoming may not be what you think is a shortcoming. That's how it works. That's how opinions work. I mean, there are certain things that are irrefutable fact, but there are certain things that are just opinion. Now, an irrefutable fact is that my wife, Diana, has run into problems on iOS. It's not just me. I mean, you'd think that my phones were haunted, but they're not. And let me show you one example. Someone thought when I took a screenshot of it earlier, they thought I was joking, and I wasn't joking. It's really happened today, as a matter of fact. If I get it just right, there we go. Let's crop and zoom. This is the jank that this is not jank. Sorry. Not jank. Liz, I know there's a super chat behind me. Chirag Bodkar says, hello, Chris, Galaxy here. He forgot to do it today, but no, dude, don't worry about it. You're ahead of the game. You get bragging rights for the first super chat. So let me get back to my image that I was going to show off. This is not jank. This is slop. Just check out those icons. This is the second, no, sorry. Probably, she's lost count. The second time it certainly happened today. It's just nasty. That's Diana. It's Diana's phone. Someone accused me of photoshopping the first image, the screenshot. I'm like, no. This is not okay in 2000 anything, let alone 2017. And then before I went live, I got this great little tweet. It was kind of a big tweet, but a little tweet from Daniel Young. I almost said David. Check this out. So we've got our first documented iOS slop layout issue on the iPhone 10. Telling you, man. It's there. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, maybe they'll update the app and it'll get fixed and we'll never see it ever again, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm not so sure about that. But you know what? Like I said, every single platform's got its problems. Every one of them. I'm not just picking on Apple. I picked on Google plenty yesterday, that's for sure. I even said a swear word on Twitter. I did go back and delete those tweets because I made a better post on one of the product forums, basically finding other evidence to illustrate that I wasn't the only person who has run into this particular issue that I discussed in yesterday's TLDR broadcast. But, I mean, my point still stands. I think Google's got a long way to go as far as customer service is concerned, which is a point that I made early on when I was concerned about making a switch from Apple's ecosystem to Google's. Google's customer service needs help. I've got some suggestions. Don't know if they're going to listen to me on those suggestions, but I certainly do. David Cicione, Ciccone? I'm a bad Italian. Bad Italian. Wait, let me do it again. Bad Italian. I watched War for the Planet of the Apes last night. You know, Bad Ape. Man, he made the movie for me. He really did. Okay, David says no ad. Oh, sorry. No ad replacement for Best Buy and Verizon Pixel. No advanced replacement. No advertising replacement. No replacement for Best Buy and Verizon. Adversarial replacement for Verizon Pixel. Hey, hang on. I think it got cut off. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understood that, David. Don't come in with another super chat. You don't need to. I'll watch for your comment there. That's a little. I don't know if I quite understood that. Jason Casto says, ever since 11.1, my news feed doesn't load. It's buggy. Oh, advanced. No advanced replacement for Best Buy and Verizon Pixel. I'm still not sure I get it. I know this is like one of those things that like 3 hours from now I'll go, oh yeah, that's what he meant. But I may need a translation. I think it's the tea that I'm sipping. I think that's what's going on. Someone on YouTube asks, have I ever used Linux? Yeah. I've got an Android device right here. I just held it up like 2 minutes ago. David Stevens comes in with a super chat saying, for a $1,000 phone, Google should overnight a replacement at the least. I am in complete agreement with you. Complete agreement. Whether that's going to happen or not, I have no idea. But if it doesn't, and it takes its sweet time, I'll say, Google, you took your sweet time to get it to me. I'll be honest. They need to improve their systems. I will be absolutely critical with them. Completely, utterly, truthful, critical. That's if I have a responsibility, it's that. I completely agree, though. Completely agree. And I'm caught now in a cycle where the initial concern is kind of in limbo. They're doing more research, but the secondary concern is that I've got Burnin and I want a replacement. It's easy enough to like transfer everything over from an existing device to a new device. It's really, really simple. Oh, sorry, David Ciccone. You didn't tell me. He corrected. No advanced replacement. There's okay. Like you mean in terms of the combination of the brand and the carrier? That's a possibility. I can see that. See, it's funny. That's David's priority there. We're on that kind of level, David and me here. He didn't correct me on my complete mispronunciation of his last name. He corrected on the subject matter. David's like, my last name's irrelevant. This is the point I'm trying to make. And point well made. Thank you for bearing with my complete lack of understanding of how to pronounce names properly. Suj Polo here in Discord chat asks, how's your return working out? It's clearly defective. No, it's clearly defective. I'm, like I said, in limbo on a couple of fronts. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm not, like, jonesing for it. In fact, I'm kind of keeping my eye out for a viable screen protector. The only one that's been recommended to me is, like, one of those wet screen protectors, and I can't stand those. They end up looking bumpy, and they kind of get, they're gummy. I don't know, man. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But there's no real Pixel 2 XL screen protectors out there that I can find that are in stock. Chiel95 in Discord chat, have you taken a look at the new Nest products? Are you more intrigued than before now? I know you didn't see the need for them before. Nah, I'm good. I'm okay. I don't see that I need anything that they have to offer. I like having a dumb home. Having a dumb home is nice. It's very enjoyable not having to do tech support on my home. Home ownership is challenging enough, let me tell you. Someone on YouTube says, Chris, are you having buyer's remorse with the Pixel 2 XL? No, I'm not. I'm having... what's the best word to use here? Term. Not buyer's remorse at all. As long as they replace faulty products, I'm fine. I think a general concern that Google hasn't nailed a critical component that is customer service, specifically with relation to their consumer electronic products. This is apparently something people on Reddit have complained about. You have to call them and everything is fine, but if you do chat, then things aren't fine. And I did chat, because who wants to talk to anybody on the phone? So that was my mistake. I didn't call. Silly man. Edwin Hernandez comes in with a super chat. Thank you. He didn't really say anything or didn't ask a question, but if you have a question to ask, I'd be happy to answer it. Thank you. Someone installed a glass screen protector and it's fantastic. Yeah, but the one that you're talking about is not available right now. I couldn't find it. Unless I got to go out like to physical stores. Do people still do that? Like walk into a storefront and then buy something like that? Isn't that weird though? I don't know, man. What is this, 1995? It could be. I don't know. Maybe it is. Sorry for the heavy slurping. It's a little hot still. I mean, it's cooling down, but it's good. Note 8 or iPhone 8. Sorry, let me scroll up again. Patrick Braithwaite asks, law student here. All attorneys at law firm I'm at, like everyone around me has iPhones. Currently have Note 8 and Windows laptop. Well, dude, I mean, come on. If your friends all installed Words with Friends, would you too? It's a bad example because you probably would and you probably did. Do people still play Words with Friends? Obviously, I don't get out much. Or really use a lot of apps anymore. The concern I would have is that you're sacrificing your happiness for somebody else's. You know, if you find that, you know, mission critical things happen because everyone else is on an iPhone, well, then, yeah, it would make a little bit of sense to do. But if you're happier with the Note 8, I say stick with the Note 8. You're probably going to have uphill battles, like in terms of people saying, ha, I can't find you on AirDrop. Like, that to me is a bonus. Like, not everybody would say that, though. I don't know what being on an iPhone in the work environment, specifically because others are, would do to benefit you. I mean, I'm sure that someone could come up with the case for it, or the argument for it, but if you're happier with an iPhone 8, go with an iPhone 8. If you're happier with a Note 8, go with a Note 8. I don't know. I haven't touched a Note 8. Haven't touched one. I mean, I know I'm the last person on the planet to have touched one. I touched an iPhone 10 before I touched a Note 8. Not that I mind the Note 8. I don't yet have the opportunity to touch one. I would recommend the brand Moco for screen protector. I'm not sure if I can find one. I guess I do have to go out to the stores, huh? Face ID is not anywhere near as fast as Touch ID. Seems like most people are convincing themselves it's better because they have no other option. Oh. Okay. That's what David Stevens says. So if that's what he says, that's what I believe. I mean, there are times that I miss the front-facing fingerprint sensor. Like, if it's laying on the table and I want to, you know, just interact with that without picking it up, you know, and having to enter in the passcode, that's one shortcoming. But I tell you that the fingerprint ID in there is fast on the Pixel 2 XL. I don't know if that would improve in time with software, possibly, David, given that reports have suggested that the iPhone 10 wasn't even supposed to be released until next year. I'm kind of glad they did it this year. Because it just helped me get over my concerns early on, rather than having to wait a full-on year. I don't know. I haven't tried one yet with the touch ID thing. I don't know if I ever will either. Not while certain something is on that particular product. And you all know what I'm talking about. Sam Corona comes in with a super chat. No question here, nothing to say, but that's okay. If you say anything, we'll be sure to catch it and make sure we give you a shout out. Razer Phone Fund. I've heard about Trivia Crack. I have heard about that, actually. Razer Phone Fund would be nice. We barely made it over the top with the Pixel 2 XL Fund. Barely. So I don't know if a Razer Fund is going to happen. Granted, a Razer is only, what, $600 or something like that? $600, $700? Reasonable. But, you know, even then I couldn't even justify getting one outright. There's no way I could ever possibly recoup that cost. I know a lot of people are going to be paying attention to the Razer brand, but, you know, at least as far as smartphones are concerned, with this really first foray in terms of Razer branding with a smartphone, I have reached out to someone, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a reply, and I certainly don't know if I'm ever going to get a review unit. It just works that way. Moa Bakari asks, Chris, can you integrate an Android, specifically a Pixel 2, in Apple's ecosystem? AirPlay and Philips Hue are really important to me. I think Hue is cross-platform. AirPlay, not so much. There's I think one app that you can use. Well, no, actually there are a few AirPlay apps on Android. AirDroid? Is that the name of the one that everyone uses? AirDroid? That is possible. I haven't looked too deeply into it, but I want to say that's the name of the app. Don't quote me on that specifically, but I will tell you there are ways around it, specifically with the two things that you brought up. Edwin Hernandez comes in with another super chat. Thank you, Edwin. I do appreciate it. Let's see here. Gonna keep scrolling. I wouldn't want to be the only new guy in the law firm who can't be reached via iMessage. I don't know. That might not be a bad thing. Because you could ruin the experience for everybody else. You could be the only green guy. Yeah? You could be the green. Everyone else is blue. You can't see the blue. You just throw it off for them. They can't have all the fun iMessage fun. They can never have a blue screen. Fully blue, everybody's blue. Everybody, but you got a green. Just telling you. I think there's a merit to that idea. There we go. Scrolling down. Greg Trotter just came across channel yesterday, and I'm hooked. This is my second time catching TLDR live. Well, let me warn you. If this works, TLDR will happen on the weekends in this channel, potentially. But will normally happen every weekday in the other YouTube channel, youtube.com/LockerGnome. Again, because I prefer to do somewhat shorter videos on one particular topic every weekday in this channel, if I have a chance to do that. I don't know what my next video topic is going to be yet. It may very well be the Pixelbook first impressions, though. I've been getting a few notes jotted down and feel I've got a good feel for the device. Let's keep scrolling. Oh, Patrick came in again with the super chat. Just wanted to say thanks, refreshing personality and info. Thank you. Some people want me to be like everybody else. I'm sorry, I can't be. I'm sometimes going to stick out like a sore thumb. And I appreciate you acknowledging that. My personality is legit. It is me. I don't really have a different personality off the camera compared to being on camera. Maybe I kind of, amp it up just a little bit on camera. But for the most part, I'm like this in real life. I think Diana feels I'm too animated at times. I'm like a cartoon. Imagine living with a cartoon. Would you want to do it? I'm not sure. 2-week turnaround for standard replacement. Horrible. Really? That's horrible. That is horrible. Yeah, that's bad, David. Now, hopefully that's not the way Google's going to do it. That's nasty. iMarkovic1995 asks, is the AMA usually on the other channel? Yep, just reiterated that. Zach Berjawi, did he get his notification? I don't think we're streaming in the other channel tonight. This is TLDR for the day. Monkey Gamer comes in with a super chat and says, Apple became obsolete ever since iOS 7. Yeah, I'm not going to say obsolete. I think not irrelevant, just very... I think Apple jumped the shark. That's the moment Apple jumped the shark. And they've been jumping sharks ever since. In my estimation. In my humble opinion. In my experience. I wish I could say different. But that's not how I feel. I'm just going to tell you how I feel. Ben Rees, 21, says here in Discord chat, the camera is going to be a POS on the Razer phone, but then again, I suppose it's not really in its target customer, or it's certainly not something that I think someone who would want a Razer phone would need, the better camera in a phone. That said, it would be a potential showstopper for me. That's me being accurate, despite having 120 hertz refresh rate, 120 frames per second. Despite having allegedly amazing front-facing speakers, despite, having, 8 gigs of RAM in there or something like that, crazy. Despite being spec'd out, if they can't nail the software and they can't nail the camera, I'm not sure that'd be a daily driver. It would probably be a VR driver. That would make me happy. That's the only reason I'd want to try one, because I have to show you this. I finally have my first VR experience. right here. Jedi Challenges was sent to me by Disney. I haven't opened it yet because I don't have the app, but Jedi Challenges, Star Wars Jedi Challenges. It's a VR experience. You get your little lightsaber hilt, you get your goggles, and you get like a room sensor, I think, whatever they call them. You can play lightsaber battles, strategic combat, and holo chess. So, Dejeric, anyone? Kind of excited to try that. I think, where did it show? Oh, over here. What was in the box? So you get, just like I said, the headset, the hilt, and then an ice cream scoop that sits there. It says it's made for iPhone, but I do believe they're going to have an Android app as well. The only problem I will have is, again, the issue that I have with most VR, and that I get motion sick. If it's less than 90 frames per second or 90 hertz, I get nauseated. I get headaches, and it's just not fun at all. It's Star Wars, though. I'm very proud to say that my first personal VR hardware is Star Wars. I'd like to try this on the Razer. So you know what I need to do? I need to take a picture of it and then tweet Razer, and y'all need to retweet it. Do you pinky promise? Pinky promise you'll retweet it if I ask Razer to send me a review device so that I can try this at 90 frames per second or 120 frames per second. Pinky promise. Okay, you did it. I'm going to hold you to it. Thank you. Oh, Jason says I'd pitch in for the Razer. Would be interested to what Chris thinks of it. Well, if they don't send me a review unit, what say you to possibly, maybe we'll do a 4-hour live stream in this channel, a Razer fund raising, and then use all the super chats for that. Would that be fine? And do like a TLDR or an AMA like we normally do, but just it's specifically for that particular device. It'd be a great way to raise funds for any device, so long as people participate. That's the big thing. The camera is apparently good enough. Will it compete with the leaders? No, but there's a ton of people who use their camera to the extent of Snapchat, and that's it. That's true. Not me, man. I really like the camera. I hesitate to say love, but for the most part, the camera has been an absolute champ. For the most part. Not perfect, but it's definitely right up there. I definitely like the Pixel camera over the iPhone camera, having used both. It's critical to me to have a good camera on my phone, because my phone is my number one camera. I apologize, I scrolled way back up because I was missing a super chat. Liz comes in with the super chat saying the YouTube chat is sure you're getting iPhone 10. I know. Everyone, like the conspiracy theory, I thought it would end. Like I'm genuinely, not to hurt anybody's feelings, I'm genuinely tired of talking about the iPhone 10. Like I'm not likely going to be getting one like anytime soon. I don't think one is just going to magically land in my lap. Even if I did a video and tried to raise funds for an iPhone 10, I still don't think that would happen. Watch that happen. That's the way you vote, right? We just figure out the whys and the wherefores, and then you vote. And if we don't make the goal by the end of a broadcast, then it doesn't happen, and everything goes into the device kitty. That's the only way I'd get an iPhone 10 right now, is if we raised enough money in the community, because I just don't see myself wanting to spend revenue on something that I'm fine with already with the iPhone 8. Next super chat says, Chris, any interest in the new iMac iPhone 10 fund? No interest in the new iMac. The only thing I'm interested in the new iMac is the mouse black and the keyboard black, and even the iMac black. So it's the color. The color is the only thing I want. Everything else, I'm like, it's a law of diminishing returns for me. Jay Perez says that your service call with Google was about like mine. Faulty speaker in 2XL, and was asked to take a picture of a sound problem. Okay. 4 hours and 3 calls later, gave up and returned under 2-week policy and went to Note 8. Well, that's what a lot of people do. Like I said, I think their customer service leaves a lot to be desired. Big time. Man, I'm sorry I did not scroll Discord chat sooner. Every day, Izzy comes in with a super chat. Hey, Chris, hopes this helps the funds. And I got my 10 yesterday, and Loving Face ID, to be honest, has yet to fail on me, and just as fast as Touch ID for me. I think that it's fine. At a distance, yeah, I think it's going to be very, very useful. I'm not going to slag Face ID at all. It's not compelling enough for me to use the device. There's very little in the iPhone 10 right now that is compelling. for me, but understand, I was somewhat satisfied, and that's more of a mediocre satisfied. Like, I'd give the iPhone 8 Plus a C plus. I'd give the iPhone 10 at a distance, and even after having used it once, a D plus. I know some people disagree, but maybe they're anti-bezel people. Maybe they are, OLED. God, I keep tripping over that. Why can't I just say OLED instead of OLED? Maybe they're OLED fans. I'm sure maybe they're Face ID fans. I don't know. All I can tell you is that the only way that it becomes a compelling product is if iOS changes. iOS is the iPhone's biggest downfall. Oish, oish, oish. Super chat. What? What super chat? That's a super chat? Saw on CNET today the iPhone 10 3-foot drop test and the back glass shattered horribly. Not saying others wouldn't have shattered, but $600 to replace the back glass if you don't have AppleCare is crazy. Hey, dude, here's the thing. If you're spending $1,000 on a phone and you cheap out on the whatever advanced special care package thing they have, I'm just saying, those people, anybody who bought an iPhone 10 has money to burn. Like, well, maybe you bought into a certain payment plan, but at that point, you should be covering it. Because I certainly would. I mean, I didn't, admittedly, though, I didn't do that with the Pixel 2 XL. I was not expecting to have the problems that I had, which is not a good thing. Suge Polo comes in and says, if you experience the same on your return unit, what will your next step be? I'm a glutton for punishment. Until I know that there's something better out there for software experience, the Pixel 2 XL has been fine. Better than any other Android device I've tried. It's a productivity powerhouse for me. I love the software experience for the most part in relation to the things that I need it to do. It's not perfect. It's still janky in spots. I don't see slop or all that much, and sometimes that's tied into third-party apps. That was what Super Chat looks like. Oh, point to the dollar sign. Okay. There, right there. That's Super Chat. You press the little dollar sign button. It's really easy. Too jank, too slop for you. Oh. Chris, someone asks on YouTube, and you get shout-outs usually if you do the Super Chats or if you're in Discord. Do you think Apple will react to the notch price point iOS glitch bashing? Or would they just keep going down the same road as long as sales are at a decent level? No, they're not. They've got, what have I said before? Apple's got pride. Apple's got hubris. Apple's not going to admit wrongdoing, ever. So, no, they're not going to talk about the sensor array. They're not going to talk about the price point, nor are they going to talk about iOS being glitchy. It's just not what they do. And you know what? It hasn't hurt sales. Okay. I could easily push this into a discussion about religion, too. Just because more people believe it doesn't mean that it's any more factual or true or, Okay, that's as deep as I want to go with that conversation. Greg Trotter says, looking for an upgrade tablet-wise, currently using a Samsung Galaxy Tab A 8.0, and an upgrade would be nice. From what I'm looking to do with the device, I'm leaning towards a Surface Book. Well, if you use Windows, I think that would be fine. I certainly have seen it look like a solid device. If you want to use Windows, that's a big deal. I know that I've been happy, for the most part, with the Pixel Book. And if you're talking about going from one Android device to a Windows device, it's a pretty radical leap. But something like a Chromebook might suit you well. Or even like a Pixel Book. Or maybe you want a tablet that, pops out and so you don't have to use the keyboard. I guess that's not as compelling an experience for me as it has been for others. But, you may consider a Pixel Book. May. And not to say that it's amazing, and I honestly have said, I believe this, it's not $1,000. It's not worth $1,000. The Pixel Book is not worth $1,000. It's not right now. Maybe in another year when the software continues to mature. It has been really neat to be able to, open up the laptop here. Let's go here and wait. How did that? Hang on. What is going on here? I'm confused. Lock screen. Oh, you can take lock screen notes. That's new. Okay. That's kind of neat, though. How did I... You can see notifications. But how do I... I don't like this backlit keyboard always going on, either. Because you can't see it when it's light out. Wait a minute. How does it turn? How does it work? I want my... Oh, cool. I did a reboot. I was sitting here about to brag about how you can do, like, the Android apps on the desktop of the Pixelbook, and then the software kind of went wonky on me. What was I saying about this not being $1,000 experience? Wasn't it something like that? I think I just illustrated my point. Let's go ahead and keep scrolling here. Oh, wait, what does that say? He's likely doing something fun on a Saturday night. Not as fun as TLDR? Yeah, that's for sure. Have I tried Filmic Pro for iOS? Wait a minute. No, how do I... That's not what I want. I want... No. That's... Oh. Control Shift Space. Control Shift Space. Is that... Oh, that didn't work. Wait. That didn't work. Well, I guess I'll mess with that later. Jesus. If you don't keep the Pixelbook, would you consider an Ultrabook type Windows experience? Asks Drunken Old Man in Discord chat. Probably not. I'll just be honest with you. Probably not. I mean, that's about as much as I have to say about that. We have a question here, or at least an assertion on YouTube, and that is Chris's Google customer service experience. This ought to be interesting. Is really bothering me. I'm expecting my 2XL to arrive on Tuesday. I'm a little nervous now because, like Chris, I'll too be giving an Android a shot. Well, I don't think there's any problem with Android outright. I just think that Google's new to the hardware game and new to the customer service game, and they've really got to pull out all stops. They've really got to do things better. And I'm going to be critical with them. You may have seen that last night Made by Google did reply to one of my tweets, and it says, let's take this to DM, and I did. And I basically let him have it. I don't care who's on the other end. I'm like, I'm being nice and everything, but like, this is what you should have done, this is what you should have done, this is what you should have done. Talking to them like, I'm an advocate for the user, right? So my hope is to have a dialogue open with Google to say, look, this is the way that you should be doing customer service. If someone says they have a problem, they document it. Just do what you can to make them happy. And that isn't saying, oh, it's normal wear and tear, especially when you know your product's got screen problems, man. After 2 weeks. This is the only damage to an otherwise pristine device. You can't even see it at every angle. Don't even sit there and claim that's my fault. Don't. I'll have none of it. No, I'm not talking about that province up in Canada either. Salad Von Baco asks, is this the only tech stuff? Is this only about tech stuff, or will Star Wars be discussed too? I'm not a tech person, really, so it all sounds like the same stuff over and over. Yeah, Salad Von Baco, I'm with you. I'll be honest, I'd much rather talk about Star Wars. Salad, I feel you. You can ask a question, maybe I'll see it. I will be doing Star Wars live streams in the Star Wars Radar YouTube channel when Battlefront 2 happens. I don't have one yet. I need to get Battlefront 2. That's the next thing I need to do. I need to earn gift cards courtesy of go.tagjag.com/free points. And then maybe I'll be able to afford to get Battlefront 2. And then do some live stream gameplay with Battlefront 2 in that channel. The Star Wars Radar YouTube channel. It did snow last night, to some gaming. I'm sorry, yeah, is that Game Image? Yeah, it snowed. And I think it's going to snow tomorrow, too. I'm ready. I love the snow. If you missed the stream Diana did earlier, Jedi said, snow, I'm going to eat it. She loves eating snow. Rona Rivera says, I asked Diana this question. How much is Jedi like you and how much does she like Diana? Thanks. Honestly, I don't know if she's either one of us. She's her. She's herself. Not shy, but bashful at the same time. Sensitive, but yet serious. I mean, she's a mixture of both. Fun-loving, but, also, is just beginning to learn her boundaries as well as others' boundaries. She's a 3-year-old. Someone asked on YouTube, Chris, would you try a Note 8 if dealing with the screen issues of the Pixel 2 XL? I have a Note 8 with 6 gigs of RAM and actually been smooth for me in regards of lag. I'd still like to try to review one. Yes, is my answer to that question. But that's the only answer I have. That's how I feel right now. Everyone seems to talk about the device so much. It's not that I'm compelled. Well, I need to try this device because everybody keeps talking about it. I was told that it was possible I'd be able to get a review unit, so now I'm waiting. Like that's how I feel. I have to wait. It's madly frustrating, mildly frustrating even. XS Magical says, have you heard about the screen burn-in in reports by Apple for the iPhone 10? It's an OLED screen. Burn-in was going to happen. That to me was inevitable at a distance. I'm sure Apple's going to mitigate it as much as they can. Probably do some tricks in software. I guess I trust Apple to do something like that, especially when it means they need to protect their hardware. That's the thing. They'll tweak software when their hardware is on the line. But fixing software for fixing software's sake, it's just not Apple's... it's not their modus operandi. Marble Dash comes in with a super chat and says, get a Note 8. That if only it were so simple. Marble Dash. If only it were so simple. Tell you, by the time I do get one, the 9 will be out. And then we do this cycle all over again. Trust me, I wish there was an easier way to do this. I'm not gonna waste money on one device or another if I can't recoup the cost. I should at this point just do different live streams to see what everybody wants. But I don't think in doing that we'd ever achieve the goal in any one of those videos. That's how I feel. I could be wrong. I don't want to upset anybody. That's the thing. Datalore comes in with a super chat. Datalore TV, an old live.pirillo.com guy. Says, Star Trek Discovery much? No, Datalore. I've not seen it. I want to see it. I'm just not going to spend money on it. I've seen things that I may want to watch, or aspects of the series that I would want to watch. I'm watching the Orville, which I know is not exactly Star Trek, but it's kind of giving me that fix. And I like the Orville. It's different, but and I know it's not Star Trek. I think inevitably I will be able to watch Star Trek Discovery, though. I think it would be a nice thing to watch on a regular basis. But I've got so much that I've yet to catch up on anyway that I can't justify spending more on something else. I don't even watch movies until I can rent them for free. Like, I had an opportunity to review the Blu-ray pack of the Planet of the Apes movies, the new ones. And so last night I watched War of the Planet of the Apes. So it was free. It was worth it. I enjoyed it. I was curious to know how the arc ended. I don't know if it was as good of an Apes movie as it could have been, but I'm not a huge, Planet of the Apes aficionado, like, through and through. In fact, I didn't even like watching the old movies back in the day. I ultimately went back as an adult and watched the Planet of the Apes classics, and I enjoyed them. But now, like, when I was a kid, I was just like, man, this is just so cheesy. Like, as a kid in the 80s, I was just looking at, like, these movies going, this ain't for me, man. Other questions if you scroll up. I got that one. Okay, what's the question? Looking for the question. Oh, there's a random question. What kind of chair is that in the market for a new office chair? And the one the one you use looks well made from here. It's so well made, it's been around for like almost 2 decades. This guy, a Grawl Synchron 8, and it's on its last wheel. It's definitely seen better days. I honestly need a replacement chair. People get these cool gaming chairs. I guess if you're a gamer, they may sponsor you. But I don't game, and I don't know what that chair is. But that would likely be the replacement for this chair. I'd be inclined to get one that was just pure black, though. This has been with me for the longest time. Even Datalore says, this is not the same chair I sat in. Yeah, it is. I told you, it's old. I don't know if I'm ever going to get rid of this chair, man. I paid like $700 for it. I'm getting every worth out of this chair. It's been very, very it's been very good to me in the sense that it's still around. You got off the phone with Apple. They told me if I apply a third-party screen protector in my Apple Watch Series 3, it'll void your Apple Care. What? Okay, that's weird. I tell you what, you need to install a screen protector on some of these Google devices. Whoosh. All right, I'm going to scroll down. I did scroll up. Ask the question again if I missed it, though. Better Said comes in with a super chat, says, my iPhone 7 is acting up since upgrading to iOS 11. Well, you saw the screenshot from Diana. It's how iOS works, man. You know, hey, you can get the iPhone 10 and have the addition of the whole sensor housing jutting into the screen, which is a feature, not a bug. It's up to you, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I can't do anything. I can't fix it. If only I could fix it. I can't fix it. Hurry, thumbs up. What? Twosome Gaming asks, hey Chris, any personal predictions and hopes for the new Star Wars movie? Yeah, I think it's going to do well. I do wonder how well it's going to do, given that we've heard a few reports suggesting that it's going to be different. I would be concerned that it's too different for the fan base. I don't know what too different is. I don't have any predictions apart from it, moving the story along. I just want it to be Star Wars, and that's it. That's all I'm looking forward to. Just a Star Wars movie. Every year for the rest of my life, a new Star Wars movie or a Star Wars something, and I will be exceedingly happy, very happy. It's just happiness, right? I'm still not sure how I feel about Rogue One. I'm not sure if I liked it as much as The Force Awakens. I like it differently. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I guess the more I see it, the more I like it. You kind of get to know the characters and motivations a little more, and you got to read backstories and what have you. But I want to see a movie that just makes me forget that I'm watching a movie. That's what I enjoy in any type of film that I see, rather than, and there have been times, and this happened during Rogue One where I'm like, is this going to pick up? Is this going anywhere? So we'll see how The Last Jedi works. So my hope is that it's good. Vartan3 asks, Chris, did Google back to your URE the screen? I mentioned this at the top of the broadcast, but that's still kind of in limbo. I know you must have just tuned in. Oh, pardon me. They're going on about the screen protector thing. Zach says, hey guys, I'm stuck at work all night. Hope you're all having a blast. No worries. He probably saw that chat was exploding and then wondered what was going on. That end scene in Rogue One made me drool. It was decent, but the thing is, I felt that Rogue One suffered from not having enough character development. Really, I think that's where it fell short. I think Rogue One would have worked better as a television style miniseries, like a season, like a single season episodic content rather than a movie. I think it would have succeeded. Because then we would have had backstories for every one of the characters, not just Jin, but Saw and Chirrut and Baze and Bodhi and Galen and Lyra, the whole the Krennic all the way through. I think it would have been fantastically better as an experience. But that's just how I feel. I was more attached to the Rogue One characters than The Force Awakens, says the juiciest of Jays. Yeah, everybody's different. These movies are, it's subjective, these feelings. I enjoy it as a part of the Star Wars canon or lore, but I'm not sure how well I'm going to see it in the future, or how I'm going to perceive it in the future. And maybe as Jedi gets older and we watch it again, I'll enjoy it differently through her eyes than I did, seeing it the way I did. Someone asks what my opinion of Jar Jar is. I guess I'm not neutral. I would prefer never having to see or deal with Jar Jar ever, but it's Star Wars, so you got to take the Jar Jar with everything else. I wasn't as put off by Jar Jar as others were way back in the day. Face Star Wars character, and what do you think of Jar Jar? What? Hang on. Were you asking, Liz? Are you stirring up a frenzy on YouTube there? All right. Okay. See, Liz wasn't thinking I was going to see it. She was talking to y'all. Did you see that? Subversive. That's the word of the day right there. The juiciest of J's mentions most of Saw's backstory happens in Rebels. Yes, and that's something that I've appreciated, getting more backstory in Rebels, especially with this unfortunate final season. There's not really anywhere they can go with Rebels past this final season, because they're pretty much leading up to the events of Rogue One. It's been nice to see more of Saw in that sense, but what about the other characters? They're just kind of, they're there, and you can read books and maybe even comics and other bits of content to gain insight, but any deeper than that, and you kind of have to count on the film to fill in those gaps. I listened to Catalyst. I did a sponsored engagement with Audible last year. Catalyst was absolutely nice to listen to, certainly before seeing Rogue One the second time. Ben Rees 21 says, feel totally lost with the Star Wars chat. Haha. Well, okay. Dude, TLDR, let me go ahead and explain, is about the things that you want to talk about. I'm going to steer this way and that way, but inevitably, if you don't like what I'm talking about, ask a different question. And I'm not saying that you weren't doing that, but, even someone earlier was getting lost in the tech chat, and they wanted to talk about Star Wars. So it's kind of like, I go back to the very thing I said at the top of the video. I'm like, some people want me to talk about this, others don't. And I don't know which way to go. So I let you define what the topic is. More than anything. Except for Canada. Canada is not, it's a relevant topic, yes. But in terms of the things that I have to say about Canada, it's not going to go anywhere, Liz. I know. You got a maple leaf emoji. Fucho the Clown says Jar Jar was an evil mastermind. Hey, I'm still I'm iffy on that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I want to believe in that conspiracy theory. I really do. But was he? Is he? I don't know. I can't answer that question. Someone asks on YouTube, Chris, did you already buy the Google Clip for Jedi? No, I have not, because it's not for sale. So unless I have magical powers to order when it's not even available for pre-order, the answer is no, I did not. And I guess I want to get it. And here's why. Because Jedi, she likes, playing around. And she likes playing with cameras. She has this, I got it at the thrift store. We saw that Darth Vader, like a karaoke Darth Vader thing. It's like $18 on Amazon. And I was like, okay, that's not bad. And I was out thrifting, and I saw it on the shelf for like $6 with a 30% off coupon. So I was like, okay, we'll see if this works. And she loves it. Like, she was, talking on it and singing. She was singing, like, I'm singing this. And she was singing at her kitchen. She was just pretending. And she was just having fun, And I think that was nice to see, and I'd like to encourage that kind of thing. So if I get a Google Clip, the intention would not be to, sit it here and do a photo or whatever. It would be to effectively hand it to her and say, if you want to do something, do it. You point this camera and then do something. Because then Jedi will know to face the camera and do something. And I will have had that clip that otherwise I don't think I would have had, because I don't trust her with a device like this. With that camera, yeah, I'd be more inclined to have her play with it and have that be a camera, for her to record. And then out of that, I could get animated GIFs. Or, brief videos if that happens to be the case. See, we've totally flipped the script, Ben Rees. I go from one side to the other. Yeah, I'm totally missing a lot of Canadian and Texas talk. And poutine. Okay, can we, wait, really? This is what I need to scroll through? See, this is the funny thing. I say, okay, no Canada talk, and then all of a sudden everyone wants to talk about Canada. F43A97. comes in with the super chat, says, Windows had some potential as an operating software. I agree. It had potential. Windows 10 should have been Windows Vista. Like, if Windows 10 was Windows Vista, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know what I'd be doing. It would have been nice to have that back then, but it didn't happen. So life goes on. Unfortunately, there's not really anything on Windows that's all that compelling for me. You know, I use it and then I'm like, okay, I'm done using it. You know, like I need it for a certain task and it's not very frequent. Like the Chromebook, Chrome OS, I already know I'm not going to use this for everything and anything, but in terms of what I need to use it for, it I think could work. So long as I can figure out what the heck happened with the whole login scenario thing. Yeah, I have, the web browser thing works and the Android apps work. The touchscreen, is very, very responsive. In fact, the touchscreen is, in many cases, more responsive than the keyboard. And I would be more inclined to use this, as in intent mode than I would be as a traditional, in a traditional laptop construct. Yeah, I think I have tried Smarties to answer that question. It's been a while. I'm not ignoring you now. I'm not a stormtrooper right now. I'm a Boba Fett. Told you all the other day that I wear this all the time come winter. Oof. So we're about ready to wind down. We got about 4 more minutes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to a weekend edition of the Locker Room Daily Report, or TLDR for short. Normally, this type of broadcast, the AMA every day, happens in the other YouTube channel, youtube.com/LockerGnome. But we're seeing what happens if we post TLDR on the weekends here and do it live here in this channel. If only to make you aware that it's happening live in the other channel every weekday. So you have a chance to have a video for me that you want to see rather than a video that I want to do. See, there's enough of me to go around. Plenty of me to go around. F43A97 comes in with what may likely be the last super chat for the day. He says, why is it that anyone can enter Canada without any kind of legal documentation? Open borders? I can't speak to that. Liz might be able to. Other Canadians might. But I'm not really, I'm not privy to that knowledge. Thoughts on the Mate 10? I have none. Looks interesting, but I don't know if I'm getting one. There are very few devices that I can say, oh yeah, I'm getting that. Any. I think the next one I'll get is probably something from Google, and then it's either using device funds or building up device funds through live streams, and then ultimately pouring those resources into one device or another, or at least attempting to. There are a lot of bills that got to get paid. For sure. Say what you want, says Tanuch, but at least the iPhone 10 has a top-notch display. Haha, no? Okay. It's a nice display, but I found it difficult to see the difference side by side with the iPhone 8 Plus, as I mentioned in my first impressions video, that very few people seem to like. It's the best I could do. I wasn't going to walk home with one. It's not going to happen. I got it. It's funny. Is a Stormtrooper outfit supposed to be armor? If so, what's the point when they get killed in one shot? That, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. The armor is there, of course, to protect them. In terms of laser blast, I suppose it depends on where they got hit. If they got hit, maybe it shields them from certain kinds of lasers, but not others. I don't know. I see. That's how much I know about the details, the nitty gritty that so many people just have their life revolve around. But I just know enough to love what Star Wars is. Chris tolerates tech. Chris loves Star Wars. See, there's a difference. There's a difference between the two. Like, rarely have I ever, said, this mug is substandard. I need to call customer service and get it replaced. No. Rarely, if ever, have I picked up a Star Wars figure and gone, you know what? This figure's frame rates are horrible. I can't deal with the frame rates on this figure. And yes, I know where my thumb is. This figure is it's not as good as the other figure. So the nice thing is, these 4 figures came in a 4-pack, so you get all of them. Right? You don't have to choose one or the other. You get all of them. If you don't like that figure, you can get that figure. You don't like that figure, you can get that. Or you can get all of them. Choice is yours. They are certainly not $1,000 figures. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you for tuning in. I may be popping over to my Twitch chat now, twitch.tv/Chris Pirillo, to do a live podcast recording. I hope you're also subscribed to the podcast. If you made it this far, I assume you would be. You can listen to it in your favorite podcast listener tool thing. Chris Pirillo. Just do a search for my name. You should find me there in the directory. Twitch.tv/Chris Pirillo is where you can also become a sub of mine to join Discord chat 24/7. You can also head over to patreon.com/Chris Pirillo and become a patron of mine. And we tried to put TLDR as a podcast for patrons to listen to if they are interested in just listening to the TLDR rather than tuning into a live broadcast or the broadcast after the fact. Let me know what you think. If you watched TLDR, whether live or after it was live, let me know what you think. Do you like the idea of TLDR being every weekday in the other channel so that I can do a quote-unquote shorter video in this channel on one topic, a single topic every day? Or do you like the idea of us doing TLDR on the weekends here? Does this help at all? Is this a good thing? Are you interested? Let me know what you think. I'm serious about that. Need your feedback. So, oh, great. We got a couple of super chats here. Future the Clown comes in and says, keep being honest. We need more people like you. Corn emoji. Always with the corn emoji. The funny thing is, I wonder if Future actually likes corn. Oh, see, there you go. Child95 comes in with an answer to the Stormtrooper thing. Better Said comes in with potentially the last super chat. Says, thanks, Chris, for everything you do. No, thank you for being with me as long as you've been with me. I get to know names and users and patterns and whatnot. I mean, this is what it's like to interact with other human beings, even though we're all at home alone, independently. I love that. I love you. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.